Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. You guys, we're here today to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And no, I did not do last week's review because it gave nothing. And I would have been forcing some shit because it gave absolutely nothing. This week, it was fine. It wasn't great, but it was better than last week. I totally didn't even finish watching last week. I just watched the reviewers. I think I turned it off when we were coming to the OG dinner or lunch or whatever it is that they met up for, and I'm not trying to see Kim on my television at all. Like, I'm just not going to entertain that shit. So I turned it off, and according to all the reviewers, it just made no sense for them to even be there. Like, what was the point of it? So yeah, that's why we didn't do last week. So that's fine. You guys, today has been the most Mondayest Monday of all Mondays. I swear to God. However, my baby girl, did I tell y'all my baby girl moved? I don't know if I told you guys. My baby girl moved and she just came and visited me. So she just gave me all the energy. She gave me all the energy and all the love. And I gave her all the food in the house. I'm just like, here, baby, take this and take that and take this. And so now I have no food. I need to go back to the grocery store. But it's okay because that's my baby. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you be part of the beautiful people family. Like the video, you guys. It does wonders for my analytics. Comment. Let's talk about it. And let's get going. Okay, so we start off where it's a couple days before Thanksgiving, and Candy is giving away food. Well, she's giving away a whole bag. She said it's everything that they need for Thanksgiving dinner, and I'm so nosy. I want to know everything that was in that bag because I'm nosy, and I want to know how many bags because I feel like we do know that Candy gives back. We do know that, so I'm not trying to clown her, but I do feel like they added this in because of the whole thing with Marlo last season, saying that she doesn't give back or anything. So we had to make sure we added in that Candy gives back. Okay, great. But I want to see what's in the bag. Marlo, she stole a lamb chop, and I'm not gonna lie, that lamb chop looked very tender. So, and then we have Sonya with her trifling ass. Y'all, Sonya is just so she just don't belong on this show. She really doesn't. And I'm just so mad that I have to keep looking at her and talking about her. But we have their Thanksgiving dinner, and I swear to God, she gave her husband his plate on a paper plate with what looks like a plastic fork or whatever. What type of shit is that? Who eats Thanksgiving meal on a paper plate? I mean, are you kidding me? Ugh. Anyway, y'all, am I the only one who feel like it really matters that you eat out of a real dish? Like, I'm not saying I'm too good with paper plates because I eat things off of paper plates sometimes. However, when I make a good meal, no, I ain't even gonna lie, I eat off a real dish most of the time. I'm not gonna lie, because to me, I feel like it matters. It just makes it taste better to me. I could be wrong, but that's what I do. Am I the only one? Is that crazy? All right, so then we have a scene where Brooklyn is meeting her grandfather for the first time. And I mean, seriously, how old is Brooklyn? Is she like 4? 5? Like, she's up there to be, what, 3, 4, something like that. Like, to just be meeting her grandfather, I don't understand. And Kenya said something about the fact that, Brooklyn was barely seeing her own dad. So she definitely wasn't seeing her grandfather, and I don't get it, but it's okay because it was a cute moment. When I tell you Brooklyn's little smile, y'all, I love a sincere smile, and she gave him such a sincere smile. She don't know that man from Adam. Well, I take that back. I feel like Kenya probably FaceTimed him and all that since she's been born. She probably knows who he is. So I take that back. But the smile on her face was just so genuine. I loved it. All right, so next we're at Drew's house, and she comes down the stairs. She actually looks cute. Y'all know I ain't been all over Drew this time. So this season, she been all right. She looks cute. Her wig looks cute. Looks a little real. Everything is laying the way it should be laying. So she looks fine. Ralph. Why does he always sound like he's just on? Y'all know how when I first come on, I'm like, hey, beautiful people. Like, obviously, I'm on at that point in time. I'm just trying to get my shit off real quick. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. That's not how I talk, all of the time. That is how this man, anytime he's on camera, he's like, yeah, so the men, we're going to take care of everything and we have it. And I'm just like, calm down. You're at home. What are you doing? All right, next we have Candy and Todd coming in, and if it's one thing Candy gonna do is dress comfortably. Like she is always comfortable, and I'm not mad at it. Listen, why is she gonna just be running around? And then Todd's like, yeah, y'all all dressed up or whatever, because Drew got on her heels and everything. He said, we thought we was just having brunch at the house. And I'm like, yeah, Todd, because you are. You're literally having brunch at the house. It's fine. Then Goof Troop comes in. Courtney with the irritating voice and face and everything. She comes in with her co-parent, Bryce, and y'all, once again, I watched the reviewer. Can't remember who it was, but they said that Bryce looks very uncomfortable, and he does. He looks very uncomfortable in his skin. Like, you can tell that he knows he looks different. He was so fine when he was younger, but it happens. It's fine, but he looks very uncomfortable, and he's seeing people that he been knowing, for years. Of course, him and Candy were in the music business together in the 90s or whatever, so of course they knew each other. So she's like, I haven't seen you in forever. I almost didn't know that it was you. You look so different. And I'm like, God damn it, Candy. God damn it, didn't we just say he's uncomfortable? Can't you feel like she couldn't pick up on that? Candy is so ridiculous, y'all. Kenya comes in, and Kenya knows him. She's like, oh, Bryce, hey. She didn't say anything about his looks, which was very nice. But she said, she didn't see him in forever. Weren't they in that RHOA movie together or something like that? Okay, y'all, sidebar. So I was just looking at them. They were showing the men in the kitchen. And first of all, can we just point out the fact that they're cooking right now? I mean, I guess when you do brunch, a lot of that stuff has to be cooked on the spot, unless, yeah, so I understand. But I would have been like Candy. Y'all know Candy always hungry. She said, I'm going to need a sandwich, an appetizer, or something. I said, Candy's hungry ass. But they were showing the men in the kitchen, and Bryce was just kind of like in his own world a little bit. I think something's going on with him. I really do. Hopefully he's okay, but I do feel like something is not all clicking, or I don't know, but something looked a little off. No, I can't say that. Can I? Off? I can't say that. Mm-mm. So at the table, Sheree says, Kenya, where's your guy? He's not here? And I'm like, Sheree, please. And she says, no, he had to work. And then in the confessional, Sheree is like, well, Kenya said she got a man, but where is he? He not here. Girl, where's your man? Really? And then Drew said it. Yeah, where's Martell? Oh, he's sick. Yeah, he's sick because he's an idiot. He's a freaking idiot. I'm sorry. But Sheree got so much nerve. Where was your man when he was in jail for all those years? And everybody was saying, where's Tyrone? Where's Tyrone? Y'all, Sheree is so irritating. Y'all, Marlo comes in next with her guy, which is all for television, y'all, which is why I don't want Marlo on this show. Nothing is genuine with her. Nothing is real. Everything is for show. She comes in with this guy, and you can tell, like, Kenya's just looking at him with this smile on her face. And then she's in the confessional, and she's like, what the fuck is he wearing? I was like, she's so ignorant. She said, I guess little eBay was closed. And yeah, I don't know what he had on. I don't know what he had on. But listen, he seemed like a nice enough guy. So when they sit down, the ladies, of course, are grilling Marlo on him. And she's like, yeah, he's Scotty, this and that. And then Candy jumps in and she's like, he's the head chef over at Continental or something like that. First of all, head chef? I thought they said he owned the place. So is he the head chef or does he own the place? I'm confused because for sure they said he owned the place. I know I'm not crazy. But I thought it was interesting that Candy just jumped in with his information. Like, okay, you met him, you know who he is. Let Marlo tell though. But Candy's in the confessional and she's like, yeah, I would have never put them two together because Marlo said that she don't really have sex with anyone and you have to be coming up off of all this money and everything. And she said, whore behavior. Y'all, the shade. I'm sorry. I love it. Yeah, so Kenya starts talking to Candy about the movie, and she's like, "So where are we at in the movie? Yeah, we're just casting and everything." And she's like, "You guys didn't call me. You didn't call me for a part." And Candy's like, "No audition, no nothing." And she's like, "I'm way past auditioning." And she's like, "But who am I leading Lady B?" And then Candy points to Drew. She's like, "Drew." Kenya says, "Drew, Drew." And she's like, yeah. And then we hear how Candy and them, asked her to be in the movie and said that they had a part that they felt would be good for her. Candy's in the confessional saying, listen, we have this part for this naive young woman who ends up getting turned out and everything. And she's like, I'm not saying Drew is young and naive. I'm just saying she know how to play like she is. And I'm like, yes, she really does. Because this whole thing with Drew being young and naive on this show is all for play. Like, Drew is not stupid. She might be a little stupid, y'all. But I don't know. I just have a hard time believing Drew's storylines all the time. So I do believe she knows how to play it up for the camera exactly what Candy said. All right, so next Roy calls, Kenya's friend Roy. And she's like, oh, hey, everybody say hi to Roy. They do a FaceTime. And she's like moving the phone around so everybody could say hi. And then Marlo's like, is that Roy? I went out with him once. And everybody's like, oh, Lord. Y'all, that's why everybody went out with everybody at this point. That's why you just hate saying who you dating. You hate saying who you like and everything because everybody has a story. And I'm sorry, I just feel like fuck exes. For real, for real. Like for real, for real. At this point, no one should know anybody that I dated or what it didn't work, it didn't work. Like I'm not claiming nobody for real, for real. No, I'm just playing y'all. But that's how I feel for real. Like I don't feel like it should ever come up where I'd be like, oh yeah, that's my ex. Why? Why am I claiming anybody? I'm just not, except for my daughter's dad. And I gotta claim him because I got the baby. But other than that, I'm not claiming nobody, y'all. So for her to just want to shout out that she went out on one date with this guy was just so juvenile to me. Like, why? All right, so we go through this whole thing of Marlo telling how he slid in her DMs, and they're like, "Oh, how do I look it up?" Why are we going through all of this? Seriously, who cares? No one gives a shit that you went out with this man one time. Like for real, who cares? And she's trying to pull it up, and she's like, "How do I work it?" And Sonya's like, "Oh, Candy know how to do it." And then we get a flashback of Candy doing the whole thing with Martell, and I'm like, Sonya always got something to say. She always got something to say. I just really wish somebody would knock Sonya out, even though it ain't gonna be easy because she's strong. Like I ain't gonna lie, Sonya looks strong. I mean, she's a freaking Olympian, and I think she still works out a lot and everything. Even though she's thin, I still think she's strong. So it wouldn't be me, but somebody needs to do it. See? So as soon as they come and sit down and the men serve them or whatever, and they're eating, Sonya's messy ass. Oh, what are the chances that Marlo dated Kenya's new man or whatever? Bitch, like seriously, she's so irritating. And I think they handled it well though. And she's like, no, I didn't say dated. I said I went out on a date. And I'm like, okay, that was nice of her to clear that up, but you didn't even have to say that. Like, who cares? So Kenya's like, listen, I think it's fine that he dated her first and saw that she's not the one. And that way he's open and available to date me. And I'm sure it was years ago that Marlo dated this guy. So who really, really cares? Sonya. And then when Kenya made her little remark, Sonya's rolling her eyes and stuff because she is Marlo's biggest fan. I swear to God, she is so far up Marlo's butt, it's ridiculous. Y'all, so they eating and talking, and then Sheree says, hey, is the chef gonna get paid? Drew is like, what? What are you saying? And why are you whispering? And she's like, because there's a lot of stuff going on the internet about you not paying your chef. So I was just saying, is the chef going to get paid? And I'm like, these broads are so messy. And she's like, well, she wasn't my chef. She was interviewing and trying out. She wanted me to try her food. There was hair in the food. It was trash. So I didn't pick her. And that's that. And they're like, well, how much is she suing you for? $1,000. And they're all like, oh my God, $1,000. And so they get a good laugh out of it or whatever. And then Sheree stinking ass still gonna say, so is the chef gonna get paid? And Drew was like, first of all, I don't appreciate her trying to make it seem like I'm her. Like, no, I pay my bills. And Kenya said, no, Sheree, not you asking if somebody gonna get paid. And I died because yes, Sheree, you are the one that don't pay. Don't try to flip it. Yeah, so then they talk about how they made up. We're supposed to be good, Drew and Sheree. And then Sheree says, yeah, that's why we're going on this trip so everybody can hash everything out and be okay and heal. And she looks at Courtney and she's like, yeah, we need you as a crisis manager or whatever. And she's like, I know. And then King is like, well, it didn't go so well with you and Candy. So I don't know how good you are. Even though she was laughing when she said it, that shit was shady. And Courtney's phony ass, she's like, oh my God, yes, I know you don't know. And while she's saying it, she's like touching Kenya though, because they're sitting right next to each other. And she's like touching her. And she did do it quite a few times until Kenya said, listen. She grabbed her hands and she said, I want you to stop touching me though. Very nicely. It was classy and I was all about it. She said, I want you to stop touching me though. She said, I understand that you are a touchy person, but we're not there yet. Oh, I didn't touch you. She said you did like 4 times and I need you to just stop. And I'm like, y'all, Kenya has come so far. She really has because y'all know that's not her. Like she's so, oh, listen, she's in her soft girl era. Ain't that what they call it? All right, y'all. So we have the ladies getting ready to go to Portugal, and um, y'all, Drew's sister looked mighty comfortable there. Drew is getting her, suitcase and everything ready, and her husband and her sister is there. And I'm like, did sis move in? They made up, and she moved in. And I know it's none of my business, but I do want to know. Um, and when they show up at the airport, y'all, I didn't like these looks. I feel like did they was there a memo that went out that said everybody wear these name brands with the logo all over? Listen, I don't mind a good logo. Y'all know I'm a Louis girl. Love me some Louis. And Candy had on Louis. I think Sonya had on, somebody else had on Louis. It was just too much though. It was too much. It wasn't cute. Like just the over logo thing just comes off very cheap and tacky. And they all had it on. A couple of them had on Fendi. There was Gucci. There was Louis. It was overkill. I'm sorry. Ooh, excuse me. You guys, so we find out that Candy had food poisoning. So on the plane, she was very sick the entire time. So they get there and it's 8 hours later and they have a little meal. So they all sit down and what's his name? Heath. Manetta is talking to her husband. She has everybody say hello on FaceTime as they always do. And Sonya is like, check on your boy Ross or whatever. And then Drew is like, yeah, check on your boy Ralph. He's in Vegas, but check on him. And everybody's like, Vegas? And she's like, yeah, on a work trip. And I'm like, he ain't got no job. What is he doing? And she ends up saying that he's auditioning for the Black Magic Mike or something like that, where I guess they strip and stuff. And everybody was like, what? Like, you're letting him go straight? Like, they're so ridiculous. Her Drew and Ralph are so ridiculous. And she said how anytime she's on a work trip or she's away from him, she's always wondering what he's doing. And now he's in Vegas and she really doesn't know what he's doing. And I'm like, girl, that's no way to live. It's no way to live. Like, if you really, really think something is going on, it probably is. So leave him alone. I'm so foul. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you worry to that extent, girl, I'm not going to do it. So yeah, Ralph, y'all going to see Ralph take it off in Vegas? I'm gonna pass. All right, so we get all the girls talking to each other. They're meeting up in the different rooms or whatever, and Sonya is bringing in a roller rack for Marlo, and she's like, "Girl, how'd you know I had a roller rack?" And she said, "I saw him coming up the hall, and I said, I'll take it." I said, "Of course you would, Sonya, because you work for her. Like you literally work for Marlo." Ooh, excuse me, y'all. I'm so sorry. Um, we have Kenya and Candy talking about how everything is going fine. And she's like, "How'd you feel about Marlo saying that, they dated or whatever?" And she said, "He had already told me." And I'm like, "Good job, Roy. Like, listen, just tell it before, that way people can't try to make you look stupid if you already know. You're not sitting there caught off guard, looking crazy or whatever. So she already knew, so she didn't care. She's like, "Listen, there was no second date. It didn't go any further than lunch, so I don't care." And kudos to Kenya. Then we have Drew talking to Manetta. Manetta's hair looked cute in that little curly wig or whatever. But she's talking about how Sheree was trying to clown her. And she's like, if she had an issue or if she really was concerned about the whole chef thing, she should have came to me alone. And I'm like, first of all, she don't really care. She don't really care about the chef getting paid. It was all for the TV. So why would she come alone, and say something to you about that alone? Like, that's just not going to happen. So then we have Marlo and Sonya. And Sonya's like, "What is the difference between, Candy and them making a big deal about Marlo being in the DMs and you saying that he was in your DMs?" And she didn't want to talk about that. She won't talk about that. It's totally different. Totally different, completely different. And who cares even about Martell being in Mart who's Kenya's DM? Nobody really cared about that. But once again, we have Sonya kicking up dust because that's all she does. And again, we don't need her here. We don't. All right, so we go to the restaurant for dinner, and they're eating like anchovies and stuff like that. But they're talking about Kenya and the girl Courtney talking about what happened earlier with Kenya saying, "Don't touch me." And she's like, "I'm getting mean girl vibes from you." And I don't think that's what the rest of the girls get. So, and Kenya's like, "Listen, I appreciate what Drew said when Drew was like, listen, she's not giving you mean girl vibes. She's just telling you her boundaries. And, all you have to do is respect it." And Drew says, "Yeah, like Candy's faces." Candy has the resting bitch face or whatever. And she makes all these face, like she can't hide her expression. Candy's expression, priceless. But she's just saying, listen, if the girl said you're touching her, which you were, just don't touch her. And so we squashed that. Great. All right, y'all. So we wrap it up at dinner with the girls ending up arguing over Drew and Sheree. Drew coming to Sheree telling her she didn't appreciate the whole thing about the chef. And then Sheree saying, "Well, I didn't appreciate you saying that I took everything back after the reunion." And Candy was like, "You kind of did." And Kenya even said, "Yeah, I think we were allowed to keep hats." And she's like, "Well, that's on y'all because not Sheree, Marlo got like 15 t-shirts and this and that." And then we have Marlo in the confessional with her hat and t-shirt and stuff on. And I'm like, okay, because y'all get along. Like, y'all like each other. So you probably gave it to her another day. I don't doubt that they took everything back after the reunion. Like they said, like, why would they make that up? Like, where are they pulling that from? So they end up going back and forth, and the whole everybody's being condescending, and you should really apologize to me, and no, you should apologize to me. And it was just a lot. So eventually, Drew gets up and she's crying because her and Sheree just can't come to any sort of agreement on anything. And it's so funny because when she left out, Kenya was like, "I need you to do better as a host." And then Marlo is like, "Listen, she is your guest. You are the host. Go get her." Like she was literally telling Sheree what to do. Go get her. And Sheree is like, "Well, my feelings are hurt too. I don't care. You're the host. You need to go get her and make it right." And she did it. She ran and did it. Now y'all know Sheree normally would not be getting up going to do nothing like that, but since Marlo told her to do it, she definitely got up real quick and did it. That's it, you guys. That was it. And next week, I don't know if it's gonna be good or what. It just seems like it's gonna be a fight. The minions are gonna be fighting it out. We have Sonya and Sonya fighting for Marlo, and what's her name? Excuse me, Manetta fighting for Candy. So it's just I don't know. We'll see how it goes. This episode once again wasn't that bad. It was fine. I think they did a whole lot of light shade, which I'm always good with. So I will see you guys in the next video. If you have made it this far, you are the real MVP. Thank you very much. Please don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you have not already, and comment. Let's talk about it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Smooches.